So story times 11 and 12 will be back to back because they happened around the same time and involved the same instrument. That happens to be a voice recorder, the kind with audio cassettes. I had been gifted a voice recorder and was always playing with it, recording goofy radio shows, skits with my cousin. The first of these strange situations was the time that I asked my mom to buy me some blank audio tapes to use with the machine. I popped one in my tape player / recorder and heard a man preaching and the sounds of an audience reacting to him. I was like, what the hell? I tried another tape, but it had the same type of aggressive preaching on it. Third time's a charm? Nope. Same evangelist sermon, or whatever that was. That had never happened to us again. I told Mom and I played it for her. She was stunned and was also asking, how did that manage to get on our blank tapes, fresh out of the sealed packaging? Has this happened to anyone out there? It was a little creepy. I don't know, maybe it happened to the band Ministry because they sampled some preacher for one of their songs. Maybe a couple of them. See you for the next one. And the other weird story time is this one. I was still having fun playing with my recorder, taping hilarious commercials with my cousin. On this other day, I had taken a break to go solo in my mom's car. Small spaces like that make for great acoustics. Hear my dog? Small space. All right, anyway. The family, and it seems like the whole neighborhood, were out at church or work that day, so it was quiet, like a quiet weekend morning. I was sitting there chilling, recording, and playing the tape back for a listen. I heard blood-curdling screams and some wind sounds enveloping those screams. I sat there all confused because my ears in real time didn't hear anything at the time of the recording. It wasn't even a windy day. It spooked me so much, I just went back into my house. I thought I heard La Llorona or something. That was the last time I caught something creepy on audio. I wouldn't want to hear anything worse than that. See you next time. So I was always visiting my best friend that lived 7 blocks north of me. One of those times, Mom was driving me home. The sun was going down, and she had night blindness, so we were always having to work around those time constraints. We stopped at the corner of 8th Street and 2nd Avenue, right next to a church. Now, I don't know if the denomination was the same back in the day, but now it's a place that claims to be spiritual, not religious. Well, anywho, we were right at the corner, and I looked back in my mirror to look behind me. I saw a pair of red glowing eyes with an angry expression, although I didn't see any other features. But anyways, I'd call that a shadow person. I remember my body went stiff from fear, and I flipped down the visor mirror. Mom seemed to sense something was wrong with me. I think I quickly jumped out of the car the second we got home. I told Mom what I saw as soon as we were far away from the car. Mom's reaction used to remind me of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo when his hair stood up on end, because that's how she reacted. I hoped that it didn't come inside the house. We had enough. That was just one of the shadow people that I've seen. Stay tuned for more. Story 14. I had woken up early because I was excited to go on a school field trip this day, which happened to coincide with April Fool's Day. I had plenty of time to do my hair and makeup to look my best to flirt with the cutest guys in my class, Nick and Dan. It was still early morning, before 8 a.m. I was excited to go to the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge and made sure I had worn something on the sporty side to go with my British Knights high-top shoes. But the t-shirt I picked to wear was giving me trouble a few times. I'm always aware of which side the tag is on, and I have known this since I dressed myself as a young'un, that the tag goes to the back, meant to be behind your neck, but it kept going on backwards. I had to put this dang shirt on 3 times when it finally went on right side forward. I was all, what the hell? Is it a prank because it's April Fool's Day? I was thinking about what happened at our field trip, even as I watched Nick and Dan race up a steep hill to impress all the girls in class. I don't recall who won, but another highlight was a girl named Talia got a jumping cholla cactus on her leg. And on the way back to school, I felt some electricity sparks between Dan and I. But that's for another day. See you back here soon. Storytime 15, Part 1. So my school boyfriend, spoiler, he later becomes my husband, had to switch schools, so he couldn't protect me at this time. I was left at our school. I guess I could say the name since it closed down long ago, Via del Sol. There was some newer girlfriends that I had made, and I was also friends with, or at least I was sadly mistaking for guy friends. They were bullies in disguise. The summer was 1990, and it was starting upon us, and the temperatures started to require fast cooling in the pool. So the school year wound down with the last day of school pool party, probably a major mistake on their part, and a giant risk to their students. Well, the morning started pretty mellow and mild, a picnic by the pool. Us girls in our swimsuits tanning before our swims. One guy in particular was breaking the ice with me. He was dating one of my friends. This dude's family was probably the wealthiest of us all. We chatted about his family and about my good friend he had dated. I was thinking I should be more social and force myself out of my shell because I was a lifelong shy person. He offered to put sunscreen on my back and even a little massage. Thinking back to those times, how the heck did they even allow this to happen, when before, this school was so strict about no body contact with each other, and I had gotten busted kissing my boyfriend there. I guess all the rules were out the door on the last day of school. This is a long story for me, so please come back for part 2 of Storytime 15. Thanks! For the first part of this story time, go back and listen to part 1 of number 15. This is part 2 of Storytime 15. Well, this is all a recipe for disaster because later that afternoon, this jerk that got my guard down and his friends, they all grabbed me and threw me in the pool. They probably by now had heard me say, "I can't swim," and they didn't care. They just went ahead with their prank, and in I went, my head and my whole body underwater. I sank like a stone. I had no idea what to do, and I was petrified solid. That fight or flight instinct didn't do anything for me. My limbs felt frozen with fear. I remember looking around and seeing murky-looking water on what should have been a clear bluish scene. I saw a hazy, cloud-like environment, and eventually some figures with a feminine nature. They damn well looked like mermaids. Instant calmness seeped into my pores, and I felt like I could put all trust into them, and everything was going to be all right. Next thing that happened, I woke up on the side of the pool after someone had performed CPR on me. I coughed out water, and my heart was racing. A crowd was around me. I asked what happened, and my friend Annette said that she saw my hand peeking out of the water, and she pulled me out. That's what's so confusing. I felt like I couldn't even move underwater. I still can't swim, and I'm too nervous to learn. But I want to thank Annette again for saving me, and those mermaids I saw for keeping me calm. I had never heard anyone talk about seeing them in pools. Have you? And damn you, Trevor and Scott, and whoever else almost ended my days back then. I was too young, even then, to go. So here I am with all my paranormal stories to share with you. Thanks for listening. Follow for more.